Hi, I'm Mickey Zeta, and this is Wednesday Night Live with Mickey. I'm so glad to have you here. As you saw my little prompt that I put on Facebook, what we're going to talk about tonight is when were you the last time yourself? When were you yourself the last time? When I lived in abuse, I totally lost myself. I allowed myself to be controlled and to be told what I thought, and it worked for me. I stayed a long time, so I could have left at any time, just like any of us can, but I stayed and I stayed and I stayed and I stayed, and the longer I stayed, the more I lost me. So I challenged myself to think, when was the last time I was me? When was the last time I felt like Mickey, that I knew what I wanted, I knew where I was headed, I knew what I was going to do. I was energized, and I was happy, and I was, I was me. And do you know when that was? Well, it took me a while. I had to think back. I was probably 54 when I undertook this exercise. And what I realized was when I was me, when I was my authentic self, when I knew who I was, where I was going, what I thought, what I liked, and I was vocal about it. If people told me something I didn't like, man, I told them what I thought. That was who I was, and it was a great year. And guess how old I was then? I was 15. The last time in my life when I was really me and I was confident and I was secure, I was 15 years old. Now, some of you might even be younger than that, but I challenge you to think back in your life. When did you enjoy yourself? When did you know who you were? For many of us, it was a long time ago. And for me, when I was 54 and I figured that out, man, it was shocking. Literally, it was shocking. So here's what I did after that. I decided, all right, who was I? And I started, I journal. You know that I write. So I started writing down those things that I thought back then. I started writing down how good did it feel for me to be that person. I wrote down the things I enjoyed doing, what my favorite colors were. Turns out my favorite color is this purple. And that's why I wore this tonight, because that is a color that I love. It makes me feel like me. It looks like me. I like it. I didn't know that for so many years. For so many years, I didn't know what color I liked. Well, once I discovered that when I was 15, I was me, and I started writing down all those things, which was really exciting because I felt that joy. I felt that excitement. I felt authentic. I felt authentic, and I decided that that's who I am. That's what I'm going to do again. And so, not that I was going to wear, bell-bottom pants or midriff shirts or any of those things that were popular when I was 15. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about your personal self, your inside self, the person that you were born to be. And so I excavated that person, and that's who I am now. That's who I enjoy being. I can't explain it. Inside, I feel like I'm 15 years old. I'm not, of course I'm not, and I know that. And when I look in the mirror, I see my mom. So, I'm not 15, and I don't pretend to be. But what I do know, and what I'm encouraging you to do is figure out how old you were when you were last yourself, and become that person inside. Let that joy come into your heart, come into your mind. It'll change you. It will change you, and it changed me. I have not been as excited about life as I've been in the last several years, and it just gets better and better and better because the more I excavate, the more I dig and find and discover who I am. When I say excavate, that's what I mean. It's work. It's work, but I undertook it, and I'm so glad that I did. That's what I'm going to challenge you to do today. Sit down and think, and maybe meditate. Maybe just sit quietly. If you don't want to call it meditation, call it just sitting quietly. And remember, go back year after year after year and figure out where you were. What did you do? How did you feel? And do that again. Bring it out because it's still there. That's who you were born to be. That's what you were sent here to be. So find it, embrace it, and make it come happen again. Make it come real. That's my challenge to you. I know you can do it, and you will be so glad that you did. I'm Mickey Zeta. I'm glad to have you join me tonight. I'll be back on Sunday night Wine with Mickey, and probably in between. Please go to my webpage, survivingabusenetwork.com, and check it out. There's lots of podcasts there and blogs and other live videos, so please go take a look, enjoy yourself, and let me know what you think. Please also comment on this video and let me know, how old were you when you were really you, and are you willing to do the work to bring that young person, that good person, that person that you are, right back to life. You'll be so glad you did. I'll see you on Sunday.